Many of you spent Christmas Day opening and sharing gifts, but for two men you are about to meet, the holiday season is about celebrating freedom. Here's how they are coping after losing something that can never be restored. A beloved sound Johnny Lindsay hasn't heard in nearly 3 decades. But the piano plays a role in bringing him peace. It appears one's passion soothes a painful past. For Andre Naxcaraj, it's art. Each stroke of his pen representing hope after losing precious time. Two men with one common thread, a justice system that would unravel their very different worlds.
Came to America, for American dreams and stuff.
But moving from Southeast Asia to Dallas would be the darkest time of Andre's life. His family moved here to escape a communist regime after his father, a Cambodian monk, was murdered. Never did he imagine the land of the free would land him a life sentence in prison.
And pretty much these people have put me in a dungeon, and pretty much I feel like, I've been to hell and back.
He was accused of raping and murdering his girlfriend, Neri Na. She was abducted from the Casa Linda shopping center in 1993 while he was at a friend's house.
Somebody that I loved, and I wouldn't even let an ant crawl on her,
Johnny was not guilty of being a rapist either. These time cards, as well as his boss's testimony, proved Johnny Lindsay was at work and not at White Rock Lake where 2 joggers were assaulted. Still, he too was sentenced to life in prison.
With the rape, I always thought, I said, anything except rape.
A stigma that stays with this father who missed out on raising his daughter due to serving 26 long years.
I wake up and sometimes I just sit on the side of the bed and I just look around and I can't fathom the time that I spent, in prison.
Chanting prayers and calling out to his ancestors helped Andre survive behind bars for 7 years. When he wasn't praying, he was drawing dreams on paper, using colored shells from M&M candy bought from the prison commissary to make these watercolors. He says the prison paintings are premonitions, showing angels and ancestors protecting him. Visions of a murdered girlfriend meant something too. So Andre always believed.
I would never give up. Like I say, I always put myself in the face of God, and they give me a life sentence, and I just look like it's not a life sentence, because when God's ready, he's going to give me a way out.
His mother made sure of it, working 3 jobs to fight for an appeal. Painting kept him sane until a court granted his request to run DNA from the victim's body against a database of convicted sex offenders. Keith Jordan was the match, still in jail for the horrific crime wrongly pinned on a Cambodian man who came to America for a better life.
I can be angry and be sad and stuff and everything, but I cannot, overchange the situation.
So Andre continues to pray.
To see the way.
Johnny continues to sing, saying it makes him feel alive after struggling with a cold heart.
Not bitterness, I had a rage. I had a rage that frightened me. The only thing that actually helped me deal with that rage was my mom.
His mother died 2 years after Johnny Lindsay was released from prison, so he's most thankful she lived to finally see DNA clear his name.
And without that, I would have never been able to prove my innocence. He can take the time.
So it's the simple things that get to him, freely sitting outside to take in the sounds of nature and view the vibrant color of life.
A blade of grass, I guess you could say, became a personal friend. It has its seasons. There are times that it dies off, and that same blade of grass in the spring comes back to life.
Both men making the choice to find peace and love in everything.
God have given me a second chance of a new life.
Both men say that is truly the greatest gift.
Still, I don't know the reason, but I know that it had made me a better person. I always say, while there's life, there's hope.
And on that note, the story ends.
Johnny and Entree's story is part of a newly released book about how Dallas leads the nation in exonerations.
I think it's just really a story that can help you deal with some of the hardest times in your life. I mean, these guys developed tools that can be applicable to any situation.
Tested is the name of the book. It features 12 wrongly imprisoned men, and here's a recent book signing. The author is splitting the book proceeds with these men still hanging on to hope.